When I made Fel his own steak bowl, garlic flavored, he started to chomp it down promptly. This is good. I had thought that grains were not something edible, but this is pretty good. Right. Rice really is the best. I don't exactly hate bread, I thought, but it just doesn't stir up the same appetite that rice does. Being able to eat rice like this even though I'm in another world is all thanks to my online supermarket, I thought thankfully. At first I was like, what the hell is this? But the online supermarket is just incredibly convenient. Sigh, that was delicious. I'm full, such satisfaction. As I basked in the satisfaction, Fel started grooming himself, so he must have been satisfied too. I noticed with a start, it's a bit too late for this, but wasn't it bad to feed cats and dogs anything with too strong a flavor? Also, aren't onions no good for dogs? Fel was wolfing it down like there was no tomorrow, so I guess it was okay. In the first place, Fel is a magic beast from a different world. He seemed to be perfectly fine, so I guess there was nothing wrong and I didn't need to worry. Alright, well, I have to get ready for tomorrow, so I'm gonna go back to my room. Understood. After I got back to my room, I started preparing the salt and pepper I would sell to the Merchants Guild tomorrow. The salt I bought came in a paper bag, and the pepper in vinyl packs, 5 packs of 20 grams each, so there was no way I could just bring them into the guild as they were. I guess I'll need to move them, I decided. I can put the salt in this jute bag I bought at the general store where I also got my wooden utensils, I thought. As for the pepper, I think this wooden vessel with a lid is good enough. Right, my preparations are complete, I thought with satisfaction. I'm a little tired from all this, so I guess I'll go to sleep early. While wishing for the sale to go well tomorrow, I fell asleep on a bed for the first time in a long while. The next morning I was pressed to cook a large amount of steaks because Fel said that he wanted the same thing as yesterday. Yep, he's a carnivore. The rate at which we went through meat was amazing. I still had some red boar meat left, so everything was okay for now, but he did eat the rest of it for breakfast. I was going to need to get Fel to go hunting soon if this kept up. And if that was the case, I'd have to go register at the Adventurers Guild. I guess I'll go after I go sell this salt and pepper at the Merchants Guild, I decided, resigned. Today's gonna be busy as well. By the way, my breakfast ended up being a simple ham and cheese sandwich and some onion soup. Yeah, there's no way I could eat steak first thing in the morning. After that, I headed over to the Merchants Guild just as planned. I took Fel along with me, because we were going to visit the Adventurers Guild right afterward, too. Michaela, who took care of me yesterday, was here today too. Good morning, Michaela. Good morning, Mukoda, sir. I've come to sell what I talked about yesterday. This is what I was talking about. Having said that, I took out the jute bag full of salt and the jar with the pepper in it from my item box. I will take a look. Excuse me for a little bit. Michaela took one look at the pepper and stood up. Maybe bringing pepper really was a bad move. They say that back in ancient times pepper was worth its weight in gold, so maybe 100 grams was a bit much. After a little while, Michaela returned, wanting to lead me to a room in the back. I told Fel to wait before following her. In the room, a man in his 50s with a good physique was already waiting for us. Please, take a seat. I am Robert, the guildmaster of this branch. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Oh man, so the guildmaster makes his appearance. Yeah, I shouldn't have brought out the pepper. After he told another employee to leave the salt and pepper on his way out, the guildmaster started inspecting it with an, I'll take a look. Just as I would expect out of a person who made it all the way to the rank of guildmaster, he started confirming the smell and taste with a sharp look on his face. I've been in business a long time, but this is the first I've seen salt and pepper of this high quality. Salt with so little impurity that it is pure white and has no bitter or unpleasant taste in the mouth, and pepper with such vivid smell and taste. I can only say that it's wonderful. Is that so? But when buying this from the online supermarket, the salt was only 5 copper for 5 kilos, and the pepper was the same for 100 grams, I thought to myself. By all means I would like to buy this off of you, but where in the world did you get it? From my online supermarket. It's salt and pepper produced from another world, so I can guarantee its quality. As if I could say that. While I was traveling, you see. When I started trying to avoid the question, the guildmaster said, that was a boorish question. A merchant shouldn't reveal their sources so easily, I guess. He said while laughing. Well then, about the price, How does 4 gold for the salt and 10 gold for the pepper sound? What? That's a joke, right? I started panicking. It was only 1 silver to buy both of them, but the salt is worth 4 gold. And the pepper 10. I knew that salt and pepper were expensive in this world, but is it really that much? As I thought, that's too low, huh? Then how about 15 gold for the both of them? Whoa, he's just raising the price on his own. Does he think I'm hesitating because I've been quiet? No, I'm just surprised is all. In my confusion, I couldn't stop my thoughts from racing. Fine then, 17 gold for both of them. I can't go any higher than that. I didn't know what kind of misunderstanding the guildmaster was operating under, but he raised the price even further. Why yeah, that's fine. 17 gold in one go. The cost was only 1 silver, and I got 17 gold. I thought, amazed. I'm profiting hand over fist here, I realized. I'm the one that's asking them to buy it, so it's not gonna work every time, though. If I start constantly bringing in salt and pepper like this, they really will start to wonder how I got it. I should probably limit this to once per guild branch, I decided. Even so, I was thankful to have obtained a way to get money in a pinch. Accepting the 17 gold, I decided to pay the year's annual fee and tax right now. It's better to pay this type of fee when you can, I thought to myself. It'll be awful if I let the deadline approach and all of a sudden I don't have the money for it, after all. I have certainly received the annual fee of 1 gold and tax of 2 gold for an iron rank. Phew, with this I'm good for 1 year. I put the 14 gold I still had left over after paying the annual fee and tax into my wallet. Added to what was already in my wallet, I now had 19 gold, 5 silver, and several iron and copper coins each. It seemed like I'd be okay for now. Well, I have an idea for if I find I don't have enough, I thought. It'd be easier for other stores to trust me when selling if I were to have a Merchant's Guild card. And I had my online supermarket, so I had a wide variety of things I could sell. I was glad that I decided to join the Merchant's Guild. Alright, next I guess I'll go register at the Adventurers Guild. With my wallet comfortably thicker after selling that salt and pepper, I left the Merchant's Guild. I arrived at the Adventurers Guild. Just like the Merchant's Guild, the guild building was quite large compared to the rest of the town. As expected, it was full of grim-looking people holding weapons. I'd say it's about 4 physical fighters to every 1 magic user. I thought, looking at the people inside. At any rate, I was amazed at how they could do such a dangerous job. Well, I was about to register for said job as well. I didn't plan to get into fights like an adventurer at all though, not one bit. I was thinking about this and that to take my mind off of things, but the stares ever since I lined up were really something. This was probably that, an adventurer. You. Don't make me laugh. Cliché, but they probably couldn't try anything with Fel right next to me. I wasn't sure if they knew that Fel was a Fenrir, but it seemed that they instinctively understood that laying a hand on Fel would be dangerous. I was so glad Fel was there. I'd get messed with all day if it wasn't for him. I want to hurry up and run away from this place already. Won't this line hurry up? After a while, it was finally my turn. I'd like to register. Then please, fill out this form here. It's fine to leave spaces blank if you can't answer them. The receptionist at the Adventurers Guild was beautiful, but also felt cold and blunt. Yeah, the Merchants Guild was politer, I thought. I'm not sure if it was thanks to the hero summoning too, but I could write this language just fine, so I filled out what I could. I only ended up filling out the essentials. Name, weapon, I didn't plan on using it much, but I should probably have one anyway just in case, so I wrote down, short sword, and the fact that I had a familiar. The registration fee will be 5 silver. Okay then, please drip some of your blood onto this card. After paying the fee of 5 silver, I was given a copper brown card and a needle. I did as I was told, and pricked the tip of my finger to drip some blood onto the card. Your registration is complete. You will start at the bottom, G rank. The quests that you can take are only G or F rank, so please understand that. Is that all the explanation I'm getting for the Adventurers Guild? Is there something else? Isn't there more to explain? The receptionist made a clearly annoyed face that felt like she was saying, what? You're actually gonna ask that? I'll ask the hell out of it. In these cases, if one doesn't properly ask about it first, it'll come back to haunt them. With no other choice, the receptionist started talking. Man, the receptionist at this adventurers guild has a bad attitude. The difference between her and the receptionist at the merchants guild is like heaven and earth, I complained in my head. Michaela explained things kindly and carefully with a smile from beginning to end, you know. The adventurers guild explanation, full of unwillingness, went like this. The Adventurers Guild is an organization that supersedes countries. Adventurer ranks are as shown below, ranging from G to S. Low, G right pointing arrow F right pointing arrow E right pointing arrow D right pointing arrow C right pointing arrow B right pointing arrow A right pointing arrow S, high. The only requests an adventurer is allowed to take are requests of their rank, or one rank higher. If an adventurer fails their quest, there will be a monetary penalty for breach of contract. Depending on the adventurer's rank, they will be forced to take a certain number of quests within a certain time frame, otherwise, their registration will be made null. If the adventurer wants to re-register, then he or she will have to start from scratch as AG rank. G right pointing arrow 1 quest a month. F, E right pointing arrow 1 quest every 3 months. D, C, B right pointing arrow 1 quest every 6 months. A, S right pointing arrow 1 quest a year. Murder or thievery will get one forcefully expunged from the guild. There will be no personal fights between adventurers. The Adventurers Guild assumes absolutely no responsibility for the actions of its adventurers. The Adventurers Guild assumes absolutely no responsibility in the event of an adventurer's death or injury. Or so I was told. Basically, an adventurer was responsible for themselves. I had no intention of raising my rank at all, though. I was a brand spanking fresh newbie, so I was AG rank. So AG rank needs to do a request a month or their registry gets nullified, huh? If that happens, then the registration fee I paid goes up in smoke. Thinking like that, it would be better to do a request while I'm here, shouldn't I? I need to get Fel to hunt some more, anyway. Getting away from the receptionist with a bad attitude for now, I headed over to take a peek at the quest board. Even if they said that I could take requests one rank higher, I was still a newbie who just registered, so I felt like I really should take a request of my own rank, G. G rank, G rank. Oh, this one and this one both look good. It's cliched, but they're both requests to harvest medicinal herbs. Cure grass X5, 1 silver each. Merge grass X5, 1 silver and 3 copper each. For now, these two are the only contenders, but the reward for merge grass is higher, so I wonder if that means it's harder to find. Just as the trope dictated, it seemed that in order to take the request I had to physically take the notice off the board and bring it to the receptionist, but also it looked like once someone took a request off the board, they had to accept it. If that's the case, I'll go for the cure grass. I took the notice for the cure grass and headed over to the counter. By the way, I made sure to go to a different section and different receptionist than the one that gave me the explanation earlier. Her attitude was several notches better, but there was still a huge difference between here and the Merchants Guild. I immediately left the guild after asking where the cure grass could be found. I was relieved that I got through that without being messed with thanks to Fel's presence. Cure grass could be found on a grassy plain right outside the east gate. It was right outside the gate, so there wasn't much danger, but I felt I should still go ahead and get that short sword. I wrote down that I used a short sword when I registered at the Adventurers Guild anyway. I thought, so let's go buy one before I look for the cure grass. Fel, I'm gonna stop by the weapon shop for a bit. HMPH, even if you do not ready a weapon, I am here, so it will be fine. What about when you're out hunting? I'm by myself, so it's just too careless to not have a weapon at all. There will be no problems if I just erect a barrier. What? Barrier. Were you able to use magic like that? Of course I can. Of course I can, he says, but this is the first time I'm hearing of it though. Actually, I just noticed this, but I'd never appraised Fel before. It was a bit late but I decided to do so now. Name, Fel. Age, 10-14. Race, Fenrir. Level, 906. HP, 9843. MP, 9481. Attack, 9036. Defense, 9765. Agility, 9684. Skills, Wind Magic, Fire Magic, Water Magic, Earth Magic, Ice Magic, Lightning Magic, Holy Magic, Barrier Magic, Rending Claws, body reinforcement, physical attack resistance, magic attack resistance, MP efficiency, appraisal. Blessings. Blessing of the goddess of the wind, Ninrir. It was so incredible, I was left speechless for a moment. Whether it's level or HP or MP or whatever, isn't he close to max stats? And his age is 1014, I guess he wasn't lying when he said he had lived over 1,000 years. Does that mean he raised his level and stats to near max over 1,000 years? He's normally just a gluttonous snack hound, but I guess Fel is unexpectedly amazing. Fel, I just now took a look at your status, but you're an amazing guy, aren't you? Why are you stating the obvious? Ah, right. Is that so? Then, I'm counting on you to put up a barrier after we leave the gate, man. Well, I'll still be getting a short sword as insurance, though. There were several weapon stores near the Adventurers Guild, so I eventually picked one and headed in. When I asked the owner for a sword easy enough for a beginner to use, he gave me a short sword for 8 silver. Okay then, let's go pick some herbs. The request I had taken required me to leave the town, so I showed my Adventurers Guild card at the East Gate and was led outside. Leaving the East Gate and walking steadily with Fel, we reached an incredibly spacious grassy plain in about 20 minutes. This was probably where the herbs grew. Now then, I'll be picking herbs here, so you go hunt some meat, Fel. Understood. I will be troubled if something happens to you, so I will take the liberty of putting up a barrier. Oh, that's right, Fel could use barrier magic. Right, it is finished. With this barrier you shall be fine even if you see a monster, as long as it is below a certain level. I thank thee, clap clap. Now then, I shall take my leave. Make sure you prepare lunch. Having said that, Fel gallantly dashed off into the forest. I was starting to respect him a little, but I see his gluttony is still in full effect. Okay then, I guess I'll start looking for the herbs, I thought to myself. Although all I really do is just appraise everything I see. Appraisal. It was all weeds. Appraisal. Cure grass. Ah, there it is. This cure grass looks a bit like thistle, doesn't it? I used a knife to cut off the cure grass from its roots. The knife that I had bought a while back finally saw some use. I started again. Appraisal. Yeah, it really is all weeds, I thought. Appraisal. Cure grass. Whoop, found another one. Now I just need another 3, and the request should be over, I thought happily. Right then, let's keep going. Appraisal. Merge grass. Ah, this is for that other request. Looking at merge grass reminded me of poverty. It looks like, what was it called? Oh that's right, the common fleabane. Let's take this too, just in case. After that, I continued to use appraisal, and ended up with 18 cure grass and 7 merge grass. Okay, it's about time for Fel to come back, too, I thought as I decided to stop for the moment. I started preparing Fel's meal. That being said, we currently did not have any meat, and if I tried to use my skill to buy meat, I would have no idea how much that would cost, so for now I was just making something cheap. Thus, I'd decided on that for lunch. First, I needed to buy more ingredients from the online supermarket. I already had onions and bouillon cubes from before, so I got 1 kilo of mixed ground beef and pork, 5 bags of pasta at 700 grams each, and 10 cans of meat sauce. All of it cost 4 silver and 5 copper, but I had all that money from selling that salt and pepper to the Merchants Guild, so it was fine for now. I bought the kind of pasta that cooks in 5 minutes, I thought, but it's Fel we're talking about here, he'll still probably be pressing me to hurry up. Taking that into consideration, I started boiling the water already so that I could start cooking at any time. In the meantime, the meat sauce. First, finely mince onions and cook them in a pan until they're transparent, then throw in the ground meat. After giving the meat some time for the heat to pass through it, pour in lots of the canned meat sauce. Like that, there won't be enough moisture, so pour in hot water that you've dissolved a bouillon cube into as necessary while you simmer the mixture. Finally, adjust the taste to preference with salt and pepper, and the meat sauce with extra meat is finished. Fel returned just as I finished with the meat sauce. He dropped his prey right in front of me with a thud. What a good smell. This is a rockbird. The thing you called teriyaki that you made before was good, so I got another. I hunted more, but I cannot bring them back all at once, so I have put up a barrier near the edge of the forest and left them there. Yeah, one is probably the limit if you have to carry it in your mouth. If that's the case, it'll only take one trip if I come with you and put it all in my item box. Wait a bit. I put away the pot with the boiling water, the frying pan with the meat sauce on it, the portable stove, and everything else I had out into my item box. I put the rockbird in there, too. Right, let's go. It will take too long if you walk. Get on my back. All right then, I won't hold back. I did as Fel said and got on his back. Now then, let us go. Wait a second. I clung desperately onto Fel's back as he kept raising his speed. I said wait. Hey, we have arrived. Ha, ha, I thought I was gonna die. HMPH, you are a coward to raise a fuss over just that much speed. That much, he says. I swear, anyone would be scared if they were going that fast. Don't you dare go that fast if I'm riding you again. What if I fall off? I do not care. It would probably be your fault. This bastard. Ah, I see, that's your response. I guess you don't need food, then. If something happens to me, you won't ever get to eat cooking from another world again, after all. German, he growled, mulling it over. Let's hurry up and put away these monsters and then go back. The monsters that Fel hunted were piled up at the edge of the forest like a mountain. When I appraised them, there were 5 orcs, a red boar, a giant dodo, and a black serpent. They say that snake tastes like chicken, so I get that, but are orcs edible? I asked Fel. It seemed that they were edible. Apparently, it was pretty normal for people to eat orcs back in town. Is that so? So they eat bipedal pigs. I had the online supermarket so I could cook for myself basically all the time, but that turned out to be the right decision. This otherworld cuisine is scary. Putting the monsters that Fel hunted away in my item box, I rode on Fel's back again back to that grassy plain. This time Fel seemed to have been a little considerate of me, so the ride ended up being fine, somehow. Now then, let's have lunch. My stomach is empty. Hurry up. Wait a little, I have to cook the pasta. And the pasta would take 5 minutes to cook. It was a good decision to boil the water early. Finally, put the pasta on a plate and pile it high with meat sauce with extra meat, and lunch is served. I made sure to mix it extra well for Fel. Fel, it's done. What's this? It's a dish from my world called spaghetti with meat sauce. It's good. When I said that, Fel started chowing down. Yes, there is not a lot of meat, but it is still pretty good. From his response, he probably intended to eat more. I started to cook the next batch of pasta, while eating my own portion. In the end, I had to make 4 batches for Fel. I also ate my own portion, so 700 grams x 4 makes for 2.8 kilos of pasta. Even so, Fel still said, this is a good amount for a light lunch. He really does eat too much, I couldn't help but think. After he finished, his mouth was sticky with the meat sauce, so I got a good laugh out of it. He hastily washed his face in water he conjured up, though. After lunch, Fel went back to hunting, and I continued to look for herbs. By the end of the day, I had picked up 40 cure grass and 20 merge grass. 5 of one of them makes a set for a request, so I harvested them with that in mind. Appraisal really was useful. I not only started recognizing what cure and merge grass looked like, but also got used to appraising things, so I ended up making more progress after lunch than before. Fel also ended up catching a lot of prey. He caught a second red boar, 3 cockatrices, a giant deer, and a murder grizzly. Just from the name, a murder grizzly sounds really dangerous though. I pretended I didn't see it and put it into my item box. I returned to town on Fel's back. I got stared at by the gate guards because I was riding on him, but they didn't say anything, so I just kept on riding him through the gates. Now then, let's head over to the Adventurers Guild, I guess. Fel, head over to the Adventurers Guild, please. Understood. When we entered the Adventurers Guild, I noticed that there weren't many people inside. Maybe because it's too early. I thought, it'll probably still be a little bit before adventurers return with their finished quests. Let's turn in my quest and turn Fel's prey into money before that happens. Because I picked up some merge grass along the way, I took the corresponding request paper off of the board as well. I lined up at the least busy counter space. There were only 2 people in front of me, so my turn came pretty quickly. I gave my guild card to the receptionist, and when she said, "Cure grass collection, is it?" I nodded and handed over the cure grass I picked. "Hey, you just took the quest this morning and you've already got this much." She was a little surprised at the 40 cure grass I handed over. Ah, yeah, I just happened to find them. Goo, was 40 too much? This was all thanks to appraisal, so let's be careful not to attract unwanted attention. So you found a whole group of them. I guess you were just lucky. Saying that, the receptionist reached an understanding on her own. Well, let's leave it at that, I decided. Then I will organize the cure grass into bundles of 5. There are 8 bundles, so that will be 8 silver. Please confirm the amount. Pocketing the 8 silver, I said, also, please process this, and handed over the merge grass request form. After she finished processing the form, I told her, I also have some merge grass, so. And handed over 5 of them. She seemed like she'd say something if I handed over all of the merge grass again. I'll leave the leftover merge grass in my item box and use it when I pick up a request in the next town, I guess. So you also have merge grass. This is 1 bundle of 5 merge grass. 1 bundle comes to 1 silver and 3 copper. Please confirm the amount. I'm relieved. So, stuff like this is fine too, I thought. I was worried that there would be problems with accepting a request and fulfilling it immediately, but it seemed to be fine. Appraisal worked its magic here, so I made more profit than I thought I would. Right, next is Fell's Prey. I also have a red boar. Can I sell it here? A red boar. But, you should still be AG rank. Apparently a red boar wasn't something AG rank could usually hunt. Well, it is a giant boar, after all. It would definitely be impossible for me to hunt one on my own. No, not me. My familiar killed it. The receptionist looked at Fell and immediately said, "Ah, I see. In the case of large monsters such as a red boar, please use the sales counter next to me." Got it. Yeah, this receptionist was pretty okay. I guess here it just depends on which receptionist you get, I thought to myself. I continued pondering as I moved. Well, I've already completed a request, so I plan on hurrying up to the next town. I guess I won't be coming back here. Now then, I guess I'll head over to the next counter and turn Fell's Prey into money. Of course, I'll be keeping all the meat. Excuse me, I'd like to sell something. Sure, then put it right here. I was received by a grim-faced old man that looked like he might be a retired adventurer. There's quite a lot. Is it okay to bring them all out here? A lot. Do you have an item box? Yeah, kind of. Okay then, I'll take them out. I started with the 5 orcs, and then the 2 red boars. Wait just a bit. Is there still more? Yeah there is. When I nodded, the old man replied, "There's not enough room here. Come with me." Wait a second. I have a familiar. Is it okay if he comes too? I called Fell over after I got the old man's permission. Fell and I trailed after the old man to a warehouse behind the sales counter. I see, so you're that guy from the rumors. Huh, what rumors? I thought as the old man continued. The fact that some guy came in with a fenrir has been the talk of the town. Goo, is it really? Well, I did think I would stand out because Fell was around. So this was hunted by your familiar too? Well, yeah. Then, I'll take out the rest here. I brought out the rest of the monsters. A rockbird, giant dodo, black serpent, 3 cockatrices, giant deer, and a murder grizzly. This is all of it. The guy stared open-mouthed at the pile, dumbfounded. Hey, is this old man all right? He wasn't moving at all, so I called out to him, "You okay?" He finally came back to his senses with a jolt. This is. Wow. Not only the numbers, but even the monsters themselves are amazing. A rockbird and giant dodo, a giant deer is B rank 2, and the black serpent and murder grizzly are both proper A rank monsters, you know. Huh, are they really that powerful? I did think that they were awfully large, at least comparatively. I thought as I realized I did also think that there were some really dangerous sounding names, so they must have had the rank to match. Either way, Fell did all the work, so I had no idea about how powerful they were. Before that there was something I wanted to know desperately. Those monsters, are they all edible? That's right, they're meat. To me, securing meat for Fell's meals came first. Yeah, all these guys are edible. Not to mention they all make for high quality meat. Woo, perfect, I thought. Fel went and hunted them, so I figured they should be edible, at least, but it was better for my heart to ask a pro, just in case. If that's the case, can I take all the meat? I'll sell everything else, though, please. The meat will fetch a pretty good price. Are you sure you don't want to sell that too? Yes. We have a huge eater here, you see. I glanced at Fel as I said that. The old man went, ah, in understanding. With this much to butcher, I won't be done right away. I'll hurry as much as I can, so come back tomorrow. Ah, right, I'll deduct the cost of butchering these from your profits, just so you know. Right. Oh, wait, tomorrow will be a problem. For now, I'll need to have him butcher at least one of them. Excuse me, but could you finish just one of them right now, please? Oh, for that family's meal, huh. Okay then, wait a bit. Having said that, the old man went and butchered one of the red boars. The old man's butchering skills were brilliant, and it didn't take long for him to have the hide, meat, and innards neatly separated. I decided to sell the hide and scrap the innards, while I took the meat. Then, here it is. The meat for the single red boar that the old man handed over to me weighed about 200 kilos. With this I'd be able to feed Fel for a while. I put away the red boar meat in the item box and left the warehouse after I said goodbye to the old man. When I passed in front of the receptionist's desk, I was stared at by the adventurers there. I guess it really is too much to take out all those monsters there in front of everyone, I noted. But I had Fel to worry about, so I still wanted to secure as much meat as I could. I won't be staying long in this town anyway, so I'll just endure it. I slipped through the stairs of the adventurers and hurried out of the guild hall with Fel. When we returned to the inn, Fel told me, "My stomach is empty." Well, it was about time, since the sun was beginning to set. But Fel always eats a lot, so it's hard on me to make all of it. I thought, there's no other choice, let's start cooking. What should I do for today? It's been all meat recently, so I should put in some vegetables too. When one mentions vegetables and meat and easy to cook, they'd be referring to a vegetable stir-fry. With extra meat for Fel, of course. It's Fel, so I could see him poo-pooing the dish if it didn't have much meat in it. For vegetables I should have the cabbage, onions, carrots, and bell peppers I bought before. I'd have liked to put in bean sprouts and some sort of mushroom, but I didn't have any on hand, so for today this was enough. I have that for seasoning, so it should be fine. Now then, first cut the red boar meat into appropriately sized chunks. They'll be a bit bigger to fit Fel's standards, though. The vegetables don't have to be that finely chopped, just cut them into appropriately sized chunks. The red boar meat is already seasoned with salt and pepper ahead of time, so I simply sear them lightly on the frying pan. Once they're cooked through to a certain degree, I take them off the heat and let them rest. If only I had some sesame oil here, I'd be able to cook the meat with some of it and bring out even more flavor. I didn't have any on me this time though, so I used salad oil instead. From there, I added the carrots, onions, bell peppers, and cabbage in turn to the frying pan, and cooked them through. I preferred my bell peppers and cabbage with a bit of crunch to them, so I made sure not to cook them too thoroughly. Once the vegetables were cooked to a certain point, I added the red boar meat back in and lightly simmered the whole thing some more. Now, it's time for that, which I'd been recently hooked on. Sweet and salty Chinese miso, in a tube. This is really tasty too, and recently I'd been using it every time I'd made vegetable stir-fry. Food companies nowadays really know their stuff. Even without creating your own mix of seasonings, just using this would allow a person to enjoy their own sweet and salty Chinese miso-style stir-fried vegetables. That being said, I added the explosively delicious sweet and salty Chinese miso to the vegetables and red boar cooking in the pan. Sear it lightly and let the flavors meld together, and there, it's done. Fel, it's done. I would prefer just meat, though. Well, haven't I only been giving you meat up until now? Having some vegetables sometimes is good for you. Certainly, it is said eating leaves every once in a while is good. However, there is no problem if I do not eat any. As of right now, I have not eaten any leaves for several decades. After all, no matter what leaf it is, what is bad is bad. That's nothing to be so proud of. By eating leaves, did he mean something like how cats eat grass sometimes? Well, for now it didn't seem like eating vegetables was bad for him, so it'd be better to eat some. When I placed a large portion of the sweet and salty Chinese miso vegetable and meat stir-fry, extra meat, in front of Fel, he only took a small bite at first. After that he started to chomp it down as voraciously as usual. Yes, that's right. This sweet and salty Chinese miso is delicious. Now then, I should eat too. Yes, this is great. Ah, there's no rice. I should have made some rice. Crap, I completely forgot. This is exactly the kind of flavor that goes well with rice. Ah man. There was nothing to be done about it. I wiped up the sauce with some white bread and ate that. But really, for this flavor it should have been rice. I keenly felt regret for the fact that I should have stocked up on rice. It seemed that Fel approved of the sweet and salty Chinese miso as well, as he ate 3 helpings before he was satisfied. Yeah, Fel really does eat a lot. I really want to look forward to how much meat we'll be getting tomorrow, I thought, hoping for the best. The next morning, I visited the Adventurers Guild together with Fel. The grim-looking old man from yesterday was there when we headed straight for the sales counter. Good morning. Hey, I've got it all ready. There's a lot of meat so I've left it in the storehouse. Come with me. Fel and I followed after the old man. The meat was piled up like a mountain in the storehouse. This is all the meat you asked for. Wow, with this much meat, I'll be able to feed Fel for a while, no matter how much of a big eater he is, I thought appreciatively. I quickly put all the meat into my item box. I thought so yesterday too, but your item box is pretty big, isn't it? When the old man said that, I could only answer with a half-hearted, ha. The meat is more important, so I'll let it go for today. Plus, this old man already saw it yesterday anyway. I probably won't come back to this Adventurers Guild branch anyway, so I won't be seeing him again, either. I plan to leave this town either today or tomorrow, after all. Staying in one place for too long would be a big no-no. Now then, next is what you get for selling the rest of it. When all the meat was safely in my item box, the old man brought out a somewhat heavy-looking jute bag and placed it in front of me. As for the breakdown, first are the orcs. For orcs, other than the meat the only other usable part are their testes, so 5 pairs comes out to 2 gold and 5 silver. Next are the red boars. The materials are 2 hides and 4 tusks, and that makes 2 gold and 4 silver. Next, the cockatrices. The meat is the most valuable part of these, but other than that there's just their feathers. The feathers were a little damaged too, so the feathers from 3 cockatrices comes out to 5 silver. Apparently, orc testes were used as ingredients in a type of sexual vitality drug, and in order to make 1 dose you needed the pair. No matter how much vitality you say that will give me, I'd pass, personally. But still, it seemed that the finished product was pretty reliable and was therefore fairly popular. The red boar's hide could be used for shoes or leather bags or belts, and their tusks were used in handicrafts and art. And cockatrice feathers were used as pillow stuffing. Next is the rockbird. Its beak and feathers come out to 7 gold. Next, the giant dodo also has a usable beak and feathers, but that one also had a small magic stone, so adding that in, the total comes to 22 gold. And then there's the giant deer. The materials are its horns and hide. This one also had a magic stone, so adding that in, the price is 28 gold. These are both B-rank monsters, but having magic stones in both of them is pretty lucky. Apparently the rockbird's beak and feathers went into making arrows. Arrows made from these not only had high penetration ability but were also easier to enchant with wind magic, so it seemed that archers would covet these arrows. As for the giant dodo, a large bird with degenerated wings so it couldn't fly, the beak was a material for magic items. You can put various effects on it and then shape it into a pendant or bracelet, or even a ring, and the feathers were used in high-end down beds. And it seemed that the giant deer's horns were popular as materials for magic staves, while the hide served as materials for leather armor for mid-rank adventurers, or materials for other high-end leather goods. As for the magic stones found in the giant dodo and giant deer, they're stones filled with magic power, and have various uses depending on the elemental affinity of the magic inside. Magic stones could only be found in monsters ranked B or above, so they were often sold or traded at high prices. Also, not all B-rank monsters have magic stones. It's said that they're only found in around 30% of B-rank monsters, and it's only at a rank that you're guaranteed to find a magic stone, although there are size differences. And lastly are the 2A ranks. It's been a while since I've last seen one. For the black serpent, we can use its venom sac, innards, fangs, eyes, and hide. There was also a pretty decent magic stone inside, so with that added in, the total is 64 gold. Next, the murder grizzly's materials are its innards, claws, and fur. And this one had a larger magic stone, so the total is 78 gold. As expected of a rank monsters. For the black serpent, which is large and ebony colored, its venom sac seemed to have many uses, I was too scared to ask, and its innards were used to make nourishment pills. After that, its fangs were used in magic tools, the eyes in magic staves, and the hide was materials for leather armor used by high-ranking adventurers. Its magic stone was apparently fairly large and aligned with water. The large, gray murder grizzly's innards were also used for medicine, its claws for magic tools, and its fur made for carpets that were popular among nobles. As for its magic stone, it was pretty big, and was worth the most out of all the magic stones in the lot. The final amount comes to 204 gold and 4 silver. From that is the butchering fee. This time you gave me a lot of high-rank monsters, so with a small discount I'll be fine with 2 gold and 4 silver. Taking that away you're left with an even 202 gold. Most people prefer gold coins even if the amount is large, so I went ahead and gave you that. But if you prefer platinum or large gold coins I can prepare that instead if you wait a while. And no thanks. Gold coins are fine. From looking around and shopping at various places, I'd found out that in town nobody used large gold or platinum coins. Even if the count was at or above 10 gold coins, they never asked or gave any of those denominations. I think it most likely that while large gold and platinum coins exist as currency, there weren't many of them circulating around. At any rate, to exceed 200 gold coins. I didn't even do anything. For now, I'll take what I can get, though. I guess I'll let Fel eat some otherworld meat later. Oh, also, I was told to ask you this by an acquaintance, but you're familiar as a Fenrir, right? The old man asked me while looking at Fenrir, who was yawning unconcernedly behind me. He is. What of it? If you didn't know, there are people who are saying it's a great wolf instead. Apparently, since the rumor of a guy with a Fenrir as a familiar came to town, was currently circulating around, there were also people saying that there was no way a legendary magic beast like a Fenrir would obey a human. So people have been split half and half between saying it's a Fenrir and it's a great wolf. The great wolf is an A-rank monster, and apparently, it's a wolf with gray fur just around Fel's size. I mean, there's nobody around who's even seen a Fenrir in the first place, you know. But even I was a pretty good adventurer before I took up this job. From where I'm standing, though, looking at its bearing, there's no way I can think it's anything but a Fenrir. The Fenrir theory and the Great Wolf theory, huh. I can probably use this. Up until now I was thinking that since Fel was around I shouldn't enter the larger towns, but in the case where I needed to enter one no matter what I might be able to just tell people that he was a great wolf. They would probably be surprised anyway because a great wolf was still an A-rank monster, but it should still be better than a Fenrir. The old man seemed like he already understood, so I ended up taking the money and leaving the storeroom without answering his question. And just like yesterday, I slipped past the stairs of the adventurers and quickly exited the Adventurers Guild with Fel. Fel, I've done everything I wanted to do in this town, so I'm thinking of leaving. What do you think? I am okay either way. As long as you feed me delicious meals. Ah, is that so? Well then, let's go. With that, Fel and I left the town of Folliers.